Hi everyone, this is Emily. I want to share my Chinese language study group's experience in both Tokyo and foreign countries such as China and Taiwan. First of all, I'm gonna talk about how I improved my Mandarin Chinese as one of my second languages so quickly. I started to study Chinese in Tokyo by attending Chinese classes. Then I decided to live in China for 3 months to brush up my Chinese by going language school in Beijing even when I was a beginner. When I lived in Beijing, I never ever speak Japanese to focus on studying Chinese. Secondly, I'm gonna talk about why I wanted to study Mandarin Chinese rather than English. I believe you guys can guess what part of Chinese language attracted me so much. It's because the Chinese language sounds so beautiful for me. It's like a piece of music. I feel like I'm listening to classical music. You know, Chinese is going up and down repeatedly and gently like playing musical instruments. And of course, the Japanese use the same Chinese characters which came from mainland China, so it's technically easy to understand. If you guys consider being IT security consultants or assessors in the future, I definitely recommend you guys to speak up Chinese as well as English to help your client who require to fight with state-of-the-art cybercrime across the globe. You guys may visit data center in China if your Japanese client uses doors to check its physical and logical security vulnerabilities by using Chinese reading skills. Thirdly, I'm gonna talk about how I prepare for the study groups. I hope this information will help you guys to start up your new study groups in the future. When I decided to start to study Chinese, I started to attend Chinese and Japanese language study groups as just one of members in the typical study group for us. For the first 1 hour, we would chat in Japanese. Then, for the next hour, we would speak in Chinese. And for another hour, we speak English. Then, I became an organizer to hold one of the study groups for a while. I facilitated a lot of different kind of study groups over a year at the City Hall-owned conference room or McDonald's, Chinese restaurants, Chinese song karaoke rooms. Please remember you definitely have to study alone or go to school to improve your grammar skill by using textbooks. Only going to study group doesn't help much because we are not professional teachers. Otherwise, your Chinese doesn't sound sophisticated and you are not reliable by speaking in broken Chinese for your clients. Before I plan to hold a study group, I searched to find Chinese people who live in Tokyo, especially by using SNS to ask them to join the meeting. I remember that I asked totally stranger to me on the train to join the meeting because I recognized they are Chinese who came to Japan for a business trip. I was so tired to prepare for that kind of meetings, but it became a very memorable experience for me even now. We need to do a lot of tasks such as preparing snacks, textbooks, Chinese maps, card games, and something special for Japan like Japanese Halloween costume to finish before the study group starts on time. Again, I strongly recommend you guys to find a Chinese teacher who can speak perfect Japanese to correct your pronunciation which has a Japanese accent. We even visited Chinese-speaking countries for study group activities. It's an incredible experience to teach a language for free to help each other across the globe. The Mandarin Chinese used in mainland in China and Taiwan are different from the aspect of words like British English and American English is different, such as the subway or tube, toilet, and restroom in Chinese. You can tell the difference between those if you attend the Chinese study groups from the members from China and Taiwan. A lot of Chinese university students and Chinese business people, even from HP Dial in China and other cities in Japan like Shizuoka Prefecture, attended the meetings. Lastly, I'm gonna talk about the most important things of my reading video. I had a lot of fun from these study groups. Thank you for everyone who attended these events with me in the past. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year! I hope you are spending a wonderful time with your friends and families with whom you cannot spend much time usually. Please don't drink and eat too much, especially before your important tasks for your job such as IT security assessment this year. My New Year's resolutions are not going to Starbucks so often like last year and write the reports faster and more accurate. I'm gonna get something to drink at Starbucks right now.
那个在这边学的话是其实是日本人，想我，日本老婆，很好，就那么回事吧。一般国内的